morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys, and welcome to another video of Diving Trading. My name is Daniel, and today, guys, we're on the update. This is the second update because I've already done a video on them before on Alpine 4 Technologies. In fact, I didn't do one too long ago, and I'm doing an update today as a request by a few people. And I think it's important because I'm going to take advantage of a few other things I want to say during the video. First of all, today's 18th of February. Like yesterday and the day before is what we call the red day. So there's a lot of people that are new into the world of investing, and all of a sudden they see days where things go, prices go so high, and all of a sudden they see lots of drops. This is normal. This is the market. If the stocks went up all the time, everyone will be rich, right? So it doesn't work like that. So we have a sell-off today. It's one of those days, and this is good because we need to take advantage. So why do I say that? If we take a little bit of capital to the side, we can take advantage to manage to average in on these types of shares. Okay, so before I actually go any further, I just want to make sure that you know that I'm not a financial advisor. Everything that I say in this video is from my own personal view and education, and it should help you to take this and do further research to see whether you would like to buy the company or not. So I hope you find this useful. So prices, yeah, we've had the price go up really high, and that was on the 8th of February, when we've seen ups and downs, and we would have expected here to carry on the upside, but in fact, what has happened is flopped down, and this is good, and we're seeing a support zone here, which is a nice support zone. This is actually where I've averaged in, just around about here actually, 650 it was. So good. And now I would imagine we would see, and we hope to see, a bit of an upward trend going upwards. Okay, so if it does break through, you've watched this video and it does break through afterwards, it's good. It's still good. It just means it's a sale. Buy more shares. Uh, the reason why I say this is long term. I'm talking about this as if it was a short term set, but it's not. This is long term for me. I've had it for a while now. I only done a video on the other day, and I think it's important to realize that this is not day trading for me. This is long term, but I do try to use simple fundamental analysis, like you've seen on the screen, to help me, give me an idea of how things are trending. So, further ado, let's go into it and have a look at the little bit more information about Alpine. So let's go straight into have a look at the news. So most recently there's a direct offering. Okay, so Alpine has concluded the direct offering and is now funded with 50 million through 5 strategic funds. We are actively paying down debt and are now properly capitalized to execute on our DSF acquisition model. Why is the question? That's the question on why is everyone's mind. This is probably part of the reason why we see a bit of a dip recently, yesterday and today. So the sellers. But why? The question is why. So if we have a look at the letter that was published today, this is the letter that was sent out by the CEO, Kent Wilson, the CEO, president, and founder of Alpine 4 Holdings. Okay, just remember, it's Alpine 4 Holdings. It used to be called Alpine 4 Technologies. He's put, I want to update on the status of our uplist into the NASDAQ exchange. First and foremost, we have completed the formal step associated with applying for the NASDAQ. Okay, we have assigned our independent board members, created our audit and compensation committees, and processed a capital raise of 50 million to satisfy the NASDAQ's equity requirements. Okay, so this is key here. Okay, so we'll have a look at that in a minute. So this is he goes on to talk about that they're now waiting for the approval from the NASDAQ, and that could happen at any time soon. Or not. Could be next week, it could be tomorrow, it could be this evening, it could be, we don't know. So there's a lot of back and forth. He goes on to say that they applicate everything they're submitting is upon the requirement of what the NASDAQ is requesting, and they're doing that. So now it's just in NASDAQ's hands, unless they ask for any other paperwork or anything else they need to go through to be able to approve it on the NASDAQ. So that's the reason why. So yeah. If we have a look, at the float of shares. There's 100 million, right? So that's interesting. So if we go in to have a look, uh, which is what we want to look at, is the requirement, okay, for being on the NASDAQ. So let's have a look. I think it's on the previous. Here it is. There's a prerequisite for the NASDAQ. To be listed on the NASDAQ exchange and reporting system, these are the following requirements, okay? So the shareholders' equity of at least 2 million, at least 100,000 shares of public float. So I'd imagine they're trying to accomplish or achieve one of these 2 points, because this is why we've probably seen what we've seen recently. Okay. Also need a minimum of 300 plus shareholders. Total assets should be $4 million and at least two market makers, and $3 minimum bid price of the company's stock. So it's at around about 650 at the moment. So yeah, so that's the prerequisite. Okay, so I think that has a lot to do with it. So, guys, let's go into the exciting stuff. This is the exciting, really exciting stuff. Uh, you sort of begins you start to think, why in the hell is the price dropping when you see things like this? But this is good. This is good. This is news, good news. Now let's talk about positive. Let's talk about that future. Let's talk about the long term. So I want you to sit down and just put all this in your head and look at the company in the future. Okay, so this is what I like to do when I'm looking at companies. I try to evaluate. That's what I try to do. I don't look at what's happening now. Uh, I look at what can happen in the future. Okay, so we'll talk about a little bit more of the positives later on down the line. So, but here we go. Here's the first bit of news, which was on the 16th of February. They announced the formation of the A4 defense system. So they've gone on to say the successful deployment of Impossible Aerospace US-1 drone to the Air Force in Q3 and Q4 2020 brought a need to bifurcate out our holdings into a more defined environment that meets the needs of the Department of Defense and security-based providers worldwide. A4 defense systems will primarily focus on delivering robust surveillance needs to the US military, unique aerospace services to support their troops, non-lethal weapons systems. The creation of a subsidiary also opens up several acquisition candidates for the company. So there's the key there. So when I say key, I'm talking about ARC, okay, Kathy Woods ETF, just to give you an idea of the company to procure over the next 6 to 12 months. It also opens up a market opportunity for the company in excess of $1.5 billion. This is not exciting. I don't know what is. So it's all good news, all good news. So let's have a look at this. Let's have a little bit of a recap. Let's add in a little bit more information. Let's just sit down and think about what's the good news. So with this, they've cleared a lot of debt. Okay, some of the debt, if not nearly all their debt, before going into NASDAQ. They'll be meeting requirements by doing what they've done to upload to the NASDAQ. They'll be able to attract and open to a diversity of investors. Okay, so these 3 points are quite key for moving forward. Okay, number one, when you're going into the Nasdaq, you'll have a lot more exposure, right? So you have a lot more exposure to not only retail investors but big institutional investors. Now, in general, an institutional investor doesn't want to take on a company and will invest in a company, shall I say, that has debt. Okay, so I think this is one of their more key objectives is to clear debt as ASAP, and they've just done a lot of that recently, so that's good. Uh, Diversity investors, addressing that in the sense of the retail investor as well. For example, if you are in America and you have the Webull as your broker, the Webull app, you can't buy OTC shares. Okay. However, when Alpine goes onto the Nasdaq, you'll be able to buy them. So there's a lot more exposure there being on the Nasdaq. So really, for that reason, that's just the way moving forward. That's just good news. Wilson also stated that they aim to achieve 1 billion revenue by the end of 2023. Okay, so just get that into your head, which is almost 30 times going by 2022's revenue. So yeah, this is the numbers. People ask about the price, the numbers. This is actually going to be quite overwhelming. This is going to be really overwhelming. I think it's going to be really overwhelming in the very near future, but in the long term, it's going to be even more overwhelming. I reckon in the near future, we're probably looking $20, $30 quite easily. And then I reckon this company, when years, if it goes by this, I don't know, we're talking about $200 a share. I mean, just imagine it's like just under $7 at the moment. So this is gonna be crazy. So yeah. And then the last point is, which is again is speculation, the ARK Space ETF program for around about March the 31st. Just at the time, the same time the Alpine had applied for the NASDAQ, ARK had also requested for the filing or creation of an ETF, the space fund. And there's a lot of talk that this company could be involved in it. It's just speculation. There's no confirmation. Well, at least I haven't seen any confirmation. But this could be a really good key point. Good, something really, really promising. And if it is, it'll explode. I haven't put it down here, but we've already talked about it before. And the last one is the potential, the potential that the military can give for this company. I mean, having the military as your client is just absolutely mad. This is, I mean, this is all good news, guys. This is good news. So yeah, so that's a little bit of a recap on the company. There's a lot to look forward to. This is a great company from my point of view. I've bought shares, like as I mentioned, when they were quite cheap, just over $2. I've averaged up twice now. Twice now, yeah, twice. I've averaged up, and have a average price of just below $5. I think it is. I think it's like $4.90 something. What I looked at. So a good average, very good average, indeed. Personally think, yeah, could have bought more when it was $2, but again, this is the sort of strategy. You always have to make sure that you cover yourself well when you're invested in companies, and now we're seeing this a lot moving for this company. There's no reason to invest more into this company and let your money grow exponentially. Okay, so yeah, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like the video, and also don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing helps my channel grow greatly. Let's see if I can get close to those 1,000 subscribers. For you guys that do subscribe me, I haven't ever giving you a personal message, but I'm giving you a personal message right now. I'm just going to say thank you very much for following me, and thank you for the support that you give me as well. It's great. I love to see the comments on the videos, and I love helping people and making this community grow. Speaking of community, last but not least, don't forget to join our Discord group. We've got a Discord group, so there we share a lot of information, so interesting. So, and it's free, by the way. So, yeah. Okay, guys, speak to you soon. Have a great day.